Hello all. Hello all. This is Adam White from your COM 351 class, and today I'll be giving you my presentation entitled Open Minds, Change Lives. Through this presentation, we are going to be examining communication in the workplace, as well as examining diversity in the workplace, and how these two particular factors play a role in how we experience the work environment today. Through this presentation, we are also going to be taking a look at certain companies' vision statements, mission statements, and whether or not these things promote communication or inclusivity. We are also going to be referencing Allen's book, Difference Matters, as well as modules 3, 4, and 5 from our own class studies. So let's begin. When I first began this project, I wanted to choose something that was a little close to home. And so what I did was pick the company that most people are familiar with, but that one I personally am involved with because my brother actually works in management here. The store I chose was McDonald's. And when I pulled up the company, what I noticed that they have a lot of information regarding management positions. And some of what they are entitled to do is ensure top quality, oversee activities, schedule, train, and hire personnel for food service. Listen to clients in the event that they have one complaint or the other regarding the quality of service delivery. Now, through the positions of management here, we can already see a high stress on communication and the fact that they have to schedule, train, and hire, meaning that they must be effective in communicating different directives. And they also have to listen to clients in the event that they have complaints and how to service those complaints, which means that not only must they be effective communicators, but also listen to receive directives as well. Now, as far as their mission statement, McDonald's claims that it is one of the world's most universal democratic brands. We welcome customers of every culture, age, and background, and we proudly invest in all the people in our success rest on our crew, our suppliers, and our community. Through this particular topic, we can already see a high stress on inclusivity, in fact that they managed to go through culture, age, and background. This shows that McDonald's is very forward-thinking in their ways of promoting an inclusive culture and how they cater not only to the people that work for them, but their customers as well. The next store was, I tried to be as personal as well. I wanted to pick a store that I spent a lot of time doing some shopping in my own home improvement ventures. I decided to use Home Depot. I noticed that through the culture, there was a lot of things that really intrigued me about it. So I decided to look in some of the management positions and what they were required to do. And so they're required to create work schedules, multitask, corporate plus local errands, manage freight, inventory purchases, handle cash, and bank statements. So this position requires a high stress on, one, communication, because you do have to communicate with people to create work schedules. And it's also very, very, very intuitive and in the weeds when it comes to really handling the day-to-day business. So a lot of requirements are placed on the managers here. Now, through this program, I also wanted to look at their inclusivity statement and what they think as far as culture. And Home Depot makes the statement that diversity is valued as a way to better serve our broad array of customers. Now, with this, they took a different approach in that they used diversity as a means not only to broaden the company itself, but to really serve the customers. And so they want to cater to not just one particular focus group, but to all focus groups across the board. And this really stood out to me as with Home Depot because that is something that is truly forward-thinking in how you relate to your customers. Next, I looked at Wells Fargo. And one of the things I wanted to look at here was how they communicated with those looking for the position of managers. Now, what I noticed when I first looked into the Wells Fargo brand was that a lot of jargon is used here. You have a lot of things like SQLs, SASs, Tableau and/or Python R, FDR, ADH, a lot of things that going in I was very unfamiliar with. Now, understanding that inside of companies, when you are going for positions of management, some foreknowledge will be probably beneficial. But say you're just coming out of high school, you just got the degree, and maybe you're looking for a new position to move up. This could potentially dissuade people who are not familiar with this jargon. I myself thought to myself that if I were going for this position, I may not necessarily feel that I was equipped to handle it because there is, again, such a high stress on jargon here. However, as far as their inclusion statement and their diversity statement, it states we value and promote diversity and inclusion in all aspects of business and at all levels. Success comes from inviting and incorporating diverse perspectives. Now, this is something I really wanted to highlight here with diverse perspectives, because this shows, one, that they are open to diversity, and not only at the incoming levels, but at all levels. And they place a high value on diversity and inclusion, which means that if you do fit the credentials, that if you can fit the bill, then you definitely are able and capable of working in this particular environment. Now, again, there is that stress on communication that may be a bit murky here when you're looking at the different jargons and the different way they use language. However, when it comes to the inclusion of the company, they are very open and willing to diversify. Next, I chose a company that was very near to me because I, in fact, am working currently in the position of an admissions counselor for Regent University. Now, Regent University, for their positions of management, actually did list some of the requirements. At the bare minimum, the bachelor's degree is required, proficiency with Excel suite, with Microsoft Office suite. They would prefer that you have 1 to 2 years of admissions, customer service, sales, and or telemarketing, telecounseling experience preferred. Now, I myself personally, when I went out for this position, did not have much experience in telecounseling or telemarketing. However, through my previous places of employment, I did recognize that I had high marks and experience in counseling, customer service, and marketing with positions I had held before. Now, with this position, they wanted knowledge and experience with customer relations management. This is how well do you manage and relate to the customers. Now, they also have information systems like SIS, Blackboard, familiar with things like that, as most students are. Now, they also want excellent written, verbal, and interpersonal communication skills. And this is because you will be communicating on a daily basis with those in management and those over the phones. So this is something that's very stressed in the community at Regent University, is communication. Now, for their vision and mission statement, they have a vision statement which is simply Christian leadership to change the world. Now, as far as their mission and their culture statement, Regent University does not discriminate in employment in its programs or activities on the basis of race, color, national or ethnic origin, sex, disability, age, or veteran status. This means that on all levels, Regent University is very inclusive of the people that work for it. I myself worked for Regent University, and I've become very well acquainted with the management staff, and I can tell you that at all levels there is a high degree of diversity. There's no level at Regent University in which you'll see more of the same faces. They really do stress that diversity there. Now, one company that I did want to highlight was Two Men in the Truck. This is a company that I myself didn't have personal experience with, but my sister did. And in working in Two Men in the Truck, what she found was that in going into the company, she found that there were not clear and concise measurements for what management actually was. In fact, when she tried to move up in the company for management, she often found that the lines were a bit blurred. I looked into some of the management practices of this company, and what I found was that there weren't many listed on the website. Now, they did list positions for abundant management positions found in the franchise. They never specified what those positions were or how they could be reached. They also never specified what a manager would be capable and in charge of doing. You have general manager, move manager, and specialty manager, but no clear directives as to what those roles entail. Now, what I did find interesting about this company was that in looking, there was no diversity statement present. And so we could not clearly find the lines of delineation to what their stance was as far as diversity. My sister did note that working for the company, there were instances in which she felt that sometimes they were not as inclusive as they could have been. In fact, in more than one occasion, she did encounter some statements that could have been considered racially charged, in which case the stress for inclusivity was not there at all, which ultimately later on she did decide to leave the company because of that very fact, because she couldn't move up, and she often found herself filling in roles that did not have clear roles, clear lines of delineation. And that does bring us to the last company that I wanted to analyze for this presentation. I did want to include some of the resources here that I used in getting these statements from the companies, and so I do have a reference page here available that will be included with this PowerPoint. And if you have any questions, I'd love to speak with anyone who wanted some more information. So that is my project for you all, and I hope that you all learned something new. Have a blessed day.